Y'all. Welcome to the Torah study. It's about to get real good today. I'm so excited because the Bible, let me tell you something. When you cling on to this for your whole life, I kid you not, when the Lord says he's your way maker, he is your way maker. When Yah, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and the God of Yeshua, what you know as Jesus, is going to fulfill his promises to you. Now, before I get into reading, before we start to get into the deep study of the Torah and why it's necessary for the completion of your power here on earth for your generations, I need you to understand one thing. I know a lot of us have been brainwashed into believing that everything in this old part is not necessary. But as you read this Bible, as we read together, that's why we're going line by line, precept by precept. I'm not hyping you up. I don't have a choir. I don't have a Lamborghini. The word is all I have ever needed. And it is all that you will need, because he will do the rest if you promise to follow him. But we need to understand him, not me, not a pastor, not a preacher. We need to understand him and who he is, okay? And the Bible will do its work if we just read it and trust it to what it is saying and not our interpretation or our modern day brainwashing. So let's read the word, and I want you to go line by line, word by word, precept by precept, and ask the Lord your God, your maker, to highlight to you what it is that you have to work on in your sleep, because he will show it to you in a way that is undeniable, okay? Because there is a lot of work that needs to be done, and we have to do it in partnership with him and out of religion, okay? Because religion is bondage, but God is power, peace, love, and a sound mind. And the whole earth is his. And his children need to follow his ways according to him. And he will make every crooked way straight. So let's go ahead and start with Deuteronomy 4. And the reason why I'm starting here is because the children of Israel were walking out of slavery. They were walking out of slavery. And what you have to understand about slavery is it's taskmaster. Somebody is over you and telling you to be a cog in a wheel. And what is happening in this day and age with AI, we're going to get out of that season of cog on a wheel. But if you don't understand what's going on, what's moving in the world, you and your generation are at high risk of perishing. Because at the end of the day, the rain rains on the just and the unjust, but people that are covered by covenant, they are the ones that can stand. And Moses is going to reaffirm these words. So I want you to know what we're walking into and how, if you follow this, you will save you and your generations. I'm not telling you what's foreign to me. I'm telling you what I'm currently living. And it is 100% proof that he will do what he says he's going to do. So let's start in Deuteronomy 4. The call to obedience. Now, Israel, listen to the statutes and ordinances I am teaching you to follow, so that you may live, enter, and take possession of the land the God of your fathers is giving you. You must not add anything to what I command you, or take anything away from it, so that you may keep the commands of the Lord your God I am giving you. Your eyes have seen what the Lord did at Baal Peor. I just have to stop here, because the Lord is just putting something on my spirit, and I have to be obedient. As the world system, okay, begins to crumble, okay, and the tares are starting to implant themselves, God is giving you a way out, but you have to take him at his word. The world system is shifting, and if you do not take him to his word, you are going to be swept away with it. So this Bible reading season is not for you just to feel good. It is for you to purge anything that will keep you in bondage. So I need you to read this word with me, and I need you to trust it to every word, and I need you to ask for a spirit of obedience, a spirit of humility, and I want you to ask him, okay? I want you to ask him for forgiveness of all the sins, whether you knew it or whether you didn't, and ask for him to sit with you as you read his word so that he can illuminate the things that are designed to get you out, okay? Because his word is going to cover you if you allow it. The world system is crumbling. Do not let your generations be a part of it. Okay. Your eyes have seen, verse 3, your eyes have seen what the Lord did at Baal Peor. For the Lord your God destroyed every one of you who followed Baal of Peor. But you who have remained faithful to the Lord your God, okay? Literally, the word faithful means have held on to the Lord your God and are alive today. It is not by coincidence that you are listening to this. It's not by coincidence. Okay? It's by divine nature. It's not by coincidence. Keep going. Look, I have taught you statutes and ordinances as the Lord my God has commanded me. Okay, I want you to get this. I have taught you statutes and ordinances as the Lord my God, this is Moses talking, has commanded me, so that you may follow them in the land you are entering to possess. Carefully follow them, for this will show your wisdom and understanding in the eyes of the peoples. When they hear about all these statutes, they will say, this great nation is indeed a wise and understanding people. Do you understand that when the world crumbles, that is exactly the time for God to uplift his children? That's why I'm saying there's going to be a great separation of those that have followed the system ways and attached God to it, but from those that have remained faithful to him. This is his word. It's not me. Let's continue. So when you rise, it's not according to your strength. It's not according to what you knew or who you knew. It's according to how you aligned yourself to your maker. That is your rising moment. And right now he wants to rise you up and your generations up. But you have to take him, what did Moses say? To his commands and statutes and ordinances. So we're going to get into what that is, okay? Line by line, word by word, precept by precept. And what great nation, this is verse 7. For what great nation is there that has a God near to it, as the Lord our God is to us whenever we call to him? Woo. And I cannot tell y'all. Let me tell y'all one thing. I'm gonna have to tell y'all a testimony, because every time I just think about it, I just have to share it. The Lord allowed me to be in a bind where I was like, okay, God, you put me, I'm facing the Red Sea and I see the enemy coming towards me. And I said, Lord, I need this much, and I need it in less than 24 hours. But you called me to be here. And I'm not telling you something that I just did. This just happened like 24 hours ago. And it was a large chunk of change. And I said, God, you stood me here. You asked me to come here. You going to leave me here by myself? Sent somebody that I loved a dream. You need this. Gave me what I needed to sustain me and my family. I'm not talking to you guys about something that I'm just reading. That's why I'm saying that we have to trust him. Because when he says that he is going to bring you, what he says, he means it. And all we have to do is trust and obey. And have a great attitude, because he is God and he needs nobody else. But he chooses to use us. And all we have to do is trust and obey. All right. And what great nation, verse 8, has righteous statutes and ordinances like this entire law? Did you hear what I said? Entire law I set before you today. We're going to get to the entire law. Only be on your guard and diligently watch yourselves so that you don't forget the things your eyes have seen, and so that they don't slip from your mind, or the mind is in your heart. They don't slip from both your recollection. As long as you live, teach them to your children and your grandchildren. The day you stood before the Lord your God at Horeb, the Lord said to me, assemble the people before me, and I will let them hear my words, so that they may learn to fear me all the days they live on the earth. And listen to me. So that they may learn to fear me all the days they live on the earth, and may instruct their children. You came near and stood at the base of the mountain, a mountain blazing with fire in the heavens and enveloped in a totally black cloud. I want to let you know something. When you have children, you teach them. And you don't teach them just for themselves. You teach them so that your generations, because when you look at them, you say, okay, these are my children, but then there's my grandchildren. Then there's my great-grandchildren. You don't just teach it to them for themselves. So when you think about God, and when you just think about why he would say teach them to your children, it's because he wants to keep his lineage alive. So whenever you think that God is going to fail, or whenever you think that the mountain is too big that he's placed in front of you, because there will be mountains, remember that the testimony is not just for you. It's so he can go for your children. So you realize how insignificant you are in the process. So he cannot fail you. He cannot. We are too small. All he needs for us to do is trust him and keep going. Because he's not just trying to reach us, he's trying to reach our children's children. So if you deny him that, he will deny you. Okay. Then, this is verse 12. Then the Lord spoke to you from the fire. You kept hearing the sound of the words, but didn't see a form. There was only a voice. He declared his covenant to you. He commanded you to follow the 10 commandments, which he wrote on the 2 stone tablets. But it doesn't stop there. Remember, Moses said the entire law. So he said the 10 commandments as a piece. But the entire law is what we may follow. Let me go back and read that. This is verse 8. And what great nation has righteous statutes and ordinances like this entire law? So you can see that the 10 commandments is just one snippet. That's why when you come up to a mountain, you have no power. Because you're missing the rest of the formula. According to what has been taught, but not according to his word. But let's continue on in his word. He commanded you to follow the 10 commandments, which he wrote on 2 stone tablets. At that time, the Lord commanded me to teach you statutes and ordinances for you to follow in the land you are about to cross into and possess. These are the ones that remain faithful. To the ones that remain faithful to his word, he still has requirements of you. In order for you to possess the promise. You don't just get the promise because you pray. You don't just get the promise because you dance in church. You don't just get the promise because you're a good person. You get the promise because you're in the covenant. It's a contract that he cannot void and that you cannot void. And let me just let the word do his thing. Worshiping the true God. Chapter 4, verse 15. Diligently watch yourselves, because you did not see any form on the day the Lord spoke to you out of the fire at Horeb. It's a contract. So you don't act corruptly and make an idol for yourselves in the shape of any form, a male or female form. I got to stop and go back to that point. It's a contract. If you void your part of the contract, if you don't honor the part of your contract, how can you go to the Lord and say, God, help me do X, Y, and Z. Help me to possess the land. And he says, you don't even know what's in the contract. That's why we have a great generation that's falling away or that's doing Christianity because it's trendy right now, because it's viral right now. But all those people will be swept away. And when you come and you say, oh, I'm up against this, my heart is crying out for this. And God says, yes, but your contract. I know, I understand what you learned at church. But I didn't call you just to worship church. I called you because the Bible says, don't make an idol for yourselves in the shape of any figure, a male or female form. So it's not going to come from man. It's going to come from a voice. This is the voice. So whatever I ask for you, whenever I tell you that you have to read your word, you're reading what your contract is for your life. And I can tell a lot of y'all, like literally, do not have the power to fight what's in your life because you don't know what's in the contract. I was there. And it's the reason God will oppress you and allow you to go through crushing so you can realize that the only voice that you need is His. When you do everything the pastors tell you to do and they say, oh, you didn't believe enough. I literally believe. I came to your church. I gave you all my money. What else do I need to believe? And He's saying, no, baby girl, I just need you to hear my voice. Sure, that could be one part of it, but you're missing the contract. And that's why He sends people like me to come on YouTube and talk to you guys about it. And to not stop until you see the glory of God in your life. Because the same bondage that He took me out of, He said, go back and serve my people. There are my people that are crying out, but because they don't know the contract, because they have people, leadership that has mismanaged them, I will send you through YouTube and get you to my people. You're not reading this out of coincidence. You're reading it because God has His hand on you. And I want you to realize that. But I need you to get understanding of the contract. And it's going to go against the very thing that you've held comfort to, like religion. Because religion was my comfort. Even though I knew my Father loved me, the only thing that I heard of Him as I was growing up was religion. But He knew I had a heart for Him, so He chose me. And now He's choosing you. I got to say that because when the enemy comes up against these seeds, and he will, when you talk to your friends, they're like, oh, I found a girl on YouTube that's talking about the Torah. And they say, oh, that stuff is demonic. That stuff is demonic, Odia. Or this girl's talking about it and it's demonic, because people told me all that too. I believed it. And then God said, okay, pour more fire on her. And the same people that I went to for help, when they said that whatever I was doing was demonic, I can't help you. What? You can't help me. So I only have God to choose anyway. That's when I had to sit in that room when I was by myself and I was pregnant and everything was falling apart. I said, God, I am here. What else is it that you want from me? Because obviously I know this is not your goodwill for me. I'm supposed to possess the land, but my life is in turmoil. What is it that you want from me? And He said, baby girl, I tried to whisper through college, follow me. I know it can feel lonely, but follow me. Trust me. I have a better way for you, but I've reserved it for you because I see your heart is faithful. But I need you to not try to believe everything that you hear from people that are crooked. I know what they're doing on the back end. But if you could just read and hold on to me, and then whoo, the enemy came and swept that away. Oh, you need to go for money. You just graduated out of college. You need to go for these things. Okay, God, I need to go for whatever the world is telling me to go to. That came out of me. I had babies and got married. Changed up the whole plan. Okay, God, now I give you a husband. Now He's going to water you for a lot of years, and you're not going to listen to him, and you're going to persecute him, and all He's trying to do is teach you. That one was in the fire, going through the trenches. Now, I got you alone. Who are you going to choose, Odia? Are you going to choose comfort of the people around you? Or are you going to choose to hear my voice? You have two decisions, but you can no longer be in the middle. What is it that you're going to choose? Because that's the same thing that's going to happen to you. The enemy's going to come to you and say, oh, now you're following the Torah. What is the Torah? Are you this? Are you part of that clan? I'm a part of no clan. I'm a part of the way. This is the way for me. So whatever I have to lose, it is God's gain. It is God's gain. It's God's glory. And that's what you have to get down in your spirit. I wish somebody would have told it to me like this instead of trying to talking to me via whatever camp they want me to be of. I'm not a part of a camp. I follow the way. I'm like Paul, I follow the way. You can call me whatever you want on the outside, but I follow the way. And I will follow this way even if I'm by myself, because I know what it's done for me in the dark. And I know what it can do for you. Okay? I just have to get that out of my spirit. Ooh, I had to get that out. Because I know what y'all about to run into. I know y'all about to run into family members that are going to be like, why are you following that? I know when it's time to leave your church. I've been there. People are going to be like, why are you used to talk about God all the time? And you're like, God, I know what you're about to get into. But don't let the seed fall away. You are a good seed. I declare that you are a good seed. And that the word is going to permeate. So whenever the troubles of the world come, loneliness, brokenness, whatever it is that God decides and allows you to go through for you to hear his voice, I declare you to be good seed. And that the word of God is going to produce 100-fold in you and your generations. Whew, let's continue on. So listen. Diligently watch yourselves, because you did not see any form on the day the Lord spoke to you out of the fire at Horeb. So you don't act corruptly and make an idol for yourselves in the shape of any figure, a male or a female form. Not me, not your pastors, not anything. I'm just reading from the word. Okay? I don't have anything to sell you. You can't give tithes to me. Give it back to yourself in form of obedience. He is my way maker. Okay? Or the form of any animal on the earth, any winged creature that flies in the sky, any creature that crawls on the ground, or any fish in the waters under the sea. When you look at the heavens and see the sun, moon, and stars, all the stars in the sky, do not be led astray to bow in worship to them and serve them. The Lord your God has provided them for all people everywhere under heaven. But the Lord selected you and brought you out of Egypt's iron furnace to be a people for his inheritance, as you are today. Didn't I just tell y'all you were chosen? Okay. The Lord was angry with me. This is when he's talking to Moses. On your account, he swore to me that I would not cross the Jordan and enter the good land the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance. I won't be crossing the Jordan because I am going to die in this land. But you are about to cross over and take possession of this good land. Be careful not to forget the covenant of the Lord your God that he made with you. What did I just tell y'all? What did I just tell y'all? I just told y'all it was a contract. It's a covenant. A covenant is a contract. It's a covering. You do your part, I'll do mine. Don't worry about my part. A lot of us think we're praying for God, and God is like, honey, I'm just waiting for you. I own the world. I can give you whatever. I'm not giving it to you for a reason. Okay. I didn't say it. He did. Be careful, verse 23, be careful not to forget the covenant of the Lord your God that he made with you, and make an idol for yourselves in the shape of anything he has forbidden you. For the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God. When you have children, let's go back, see the word. When you have children and grandchildren and have been in the land a long time, and if you covenant, and if you conditions act corruptly, make an idol in the form of anything, and do what is evil in the sight of the Lord your God, angering him, I call heaven and earth, because Moses was mad because he didn't make it into the promised land because of the people. His anger was like, dang, y'all not okay, all right, I'm a little animated, and do what is evil in the sight of the Lord your God, angering him, I call heaven and earth as a witness against you today, that you will quickly perish from the land you are about to cross the Jordan to possess. You will not live long there, but you will certainly be destroyed. The Lord will scatter you among the peoples, and you will be reduced to a few survivors, left few in number, among the nations where the Lord your God will drive you. That's why I say, don't listen. And if you don't know this covenant, that's why I have so much empathy. That's why I do these videos, because I'm like, y'all are serving other gods unknowingly. That's why in the beginning I said pray. That's why in the season, God kept bringing me to Nehemiah. I said, why do you keep bringing me to this verse? Why do you keep bringing me to this verse, God? It was because when Nehemiah was praying for the restoration of his people, he said, forgive us, Father, of the sins of from our fathers, from our grandfathers and our fathers. Forgive us. You got to pray over the things and ask God for forgiveness, even for the things that you don't know. Okay? Because that's a sign of humility. That's a sign of saying, God, I'm not here coming to you in my earthly righteousness, because I understand that is filthy rags. And I would be like, God, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going out there, doing that. I'm not going out there doing that. What am I doing? That's so wrong. He said, no. When you come to me, I am holies of holies. Bow your head and ask for forgiveness, because my power demands all of it. I need you to understand there are things that you are doing that are not holy, even if you feel like you're holy. So I'm coming to y'all and I'm saying, I know y'all drank the Kool-Aid and I know you listening to the pastors, but I need you to understand when you come to your God, the God that owns the universe, can you imagine you owning everything and somebody dared your creation coming up to you and saying, God, I'm not doing anything. What's wrong with you? Why are you not blessing me? What? I own everything. What is it that I need to give to you? I gave you breath this morning. You better humble yourself and pray to me. And it's so interesting. Oh, I don't want to spill all the beans. Ooh, but God will spank you. And he sure did spank me. I'm going to tell y'all because I have to. I have to. I remember I said, God, I'm not doing anything. I'm doing your will. I'm out here like struggling for your will. I'm out here doing all these things. And my husband was like, I had a dream about you. I said, oh, when you talk to my head, Lord, forgive me. When you talk to my head, I got to listen. So he said, I had a dream of you. I had a dream that, you were on the list, but I was going down the list. At the very bottom, I saw your name. I'm talking about, I saw everybody above you. I said, oh my Lord. And I was angry at God on the inside. I was like, God, I'm doing everything you asked me to do. Why am I just, and I was just like serving him very angrily. And I said, he said, you got to fix your attitude. You got to fix your attitude. Because when God calls you, you do what you have to do, but you humble yourself. And I said, okay, God, as hard as it is, as angry as I am right now, I know you're the God of the universe. So I understand, and listen to me, I say this because I get you. I get you. I understand that you grew up in a Christian home. You're not out there, because that's probably the people that I'm going to attract to talk to. I get that you are faithful and that you're doing your best, but even your best is filthy rags. It's only by the grace of God that we stand. So when we come into the presence of God, we have to kneel our heads. Especially if you're a woman, you got to cover that head of yours, okay? When you kneel before your maker, you got to cover it because he's your covering. And you have to pray and you have to ask him for forgiveness. Ask him for forgiveness, even if you feel like you're doing nothing wrong. And just say, Father, y'all, lead me. I know that my ways are not perfect, but if you lead me, I will follow. And he will begin to reveal himself to you. Okay? Ooh, I just have to get that out of my spirit. All right. Where was I? Okay. So he said, okay, he called heavy. He want to make sure they destroyed. Okay, he said few in number. All right. So verse 27. The Lord will scatter you among the peoples, and you will be reduced to a few survivors among the nations where the Lord your God will drive you. There you will worship man-made gods of wood and stone, which cannot see, hear, eat, or smell. But from there you will search for the Lord your God, and you will find him when you seek him. Listen to me. When you seek him with all of your heart. Woo! I'm going to read that one more time. But from there, chapter 29, you will search for the Lord your God, and you will find him when you seek him with all your heart and all your soul. Only God can be the judge of that. I can be a nun today, and I can't even say nun. I can commit myself to the Lord, okay, right? I'm doing all the works and the acts and still be filthy. Because God is just looking for a heart that is repentant and a heart that is humble. And he knows what that is. See, that's why in the Bible, You cannot judge from the outside. Because if you looked at my life, you're like, she's doing everything that God is asking for her to do. But God said, no, there's more in her. That's why you can't go off of what I'm telling you. You have to go back to your maker. When you are in distress and all these things have happened to you in the future, you will return to the Lord your God and obey him. He will not leave you, destroy you, or forget the covenant with your fathers that he swore to them by oath. There you go again. There you go. There y'all go again. It's contract. Okay? The oath. Covenant. Because the Lord your God is a compassionate God. Indeed, ask about the earlier days that preceded you. From the day God created mankind, or Adam, on the earth, and from one end of the heavens to the other, has anything like this great event ever happened? Or has anything like it been heard of? Has a people heard God's voice speaking from the fire as you have and lived? Or has God attempted to go and take a nation as his own out of another nation by trials, signs, wonders, war, by a strong hand and an outstretched arm, by great terrors, as the Lord your God did for you in Egypt before your eyes? It does not matter where you live, what's going on in the world around you. When you are in covenant, when you have the oath over your life, you cannot perish. Because when you cry out to him, let me tell you something. This is his word. He cannot. He looked all throughout the earth and he swore to himself, because there was nobody greater. You are not greater than man, than your maker. So when he tells you that you have to be under oath, that he will cause a war for you, that he will cause terror for you, that he will strike down any king for you, you have got to believe him to his word, because that's exactly how you're drawing breath right now. You cannot even draw breath without him saying, okay, this morning. So don't dare think that he will not honor his word when you come up against the things that are meant to destroy you. Because you will when you get underneath this oath. You will. You'll come against people that will attack you from all camps. Christianity, whatever religion. But this is your way. And he will hold you. I can guarantee you. But my guarantee is nothing. His guarantee is everything. So, okay. Okay, not nothing, because I'm his child. I'm covered. I'm in the oath. But his word will never fail you. That's why we're reading from it. Okay? All right. So, okay. I lost my place for a second. So going back. All right. You were shown these things so that you would know that the Lord is God. You see, he's like, oh, I just want to create a relationship with you. Insert your name. So the minute you decide to trust me, I'm gonna, mess around and take all these people just for you. Just so that you know that I'm your daddy. Who's your daddy? I'm your daddy. You cried out to me. Oh, you're my child? And you're under covenant? Oh, bet. Gotcha. That's God. He's doing that relationship with you. So when you're in crises, sometimes I got to be like, okay, all right, Lord, I'm in crises. But I have something on my phone I want to share with y'all. It basically says that, when David went up to Goliath, he didn't see that as an enemy. He saw that as a promotion. Now, I don't want to get all philosophical with you, but that's the truth. That's the truth. So when you get up to a season where the enemy is you are looking at the Red Sea, and then you're looking at Egypt coming for you, he said, that's the opportunity for me to just express my love to you. Just be under oath, be under covenant, and I will be with you. Okay, this is so good. This is so good. It's so good because it's so good because I can tell you it because I'm living it. Like, it's like, okay, if I weren't living it, I'll have to like pump you up and do all the, oh, I gotta have the whole band. I don't have the whole band, baby. I just have me and my God, and that's it. Like, you know, it's all I have in this world. And my children and my family is a reflection of my hand that's hand holding with heaven, hand holding with my maker. Everything is a reflection in your life with how hard you hold on to your maker, how faithful you can be with your maker. Everything. Let me tell you, there is not one thing under the sun that God will spare for his children that call on his name when you are under covenant. That's why I can't sit over here. That's why I don't need a choir. I don't need anything fancy. This right here is going to make you everything. And when you put it to test, you'll be like, dang, she was right. This is crazy. And then you'll start talking because he wants the whole world. He's coming for the whole. This is his. He's coming for it. So whether you're going to be on his side or not, you have to decide. Whew, so good. Okay, you were shown these things so that you would, it's all between him and you. See that? It's between him and you. So that you, come on now, would know that the Lord is God. There is no other besides him. He let you hear his voice from heaven to instruct you. He showed you his great fire on earth, and you heard his words from the fire because he loved your fathers. Now, I need you to know, let it be because of you. Let your generations be blessed because of you. When I can tell you, I don't want to get too emotional on this thing, but my grandmother, Lord rest her heart and her soul. My grandmother, I can't even begin to talk to y'all about this, but my grandma, to this day, has left the emptiness in my heart that cannot be replaced. The only way that I can get close to my grandma is here. And when I tell you, my grandma was a prayer warrior. She was a God warrior. When I tell you, even in her passing, I am still yearning for her. I am still yearning for her. When I tell you the gap that she left in the earth, and I didn't spend so much time with my grandma, but I spent the time that I needed. And she was my soul sister. And I understand and I know that I am not just covered by my own grace. I am covered because my grandmother labored for years and for years through her prayers. I know that. She don't even have to tell me. I know that. Be that for your generations. Because I saw my grandmother's example, I said, I will not fail. By God's good graces, I will walk out my walk in faith, even if I have to do it by myself. I don't want to do it by myself because I would love my babies and my husband, all of the people that I love, but I kid you not, that let nothing stand in between my relationship with the Most High King. Because there is nothing that's going to protect my lineage in the way that he can. Be that for your generations. Because I know my grandma, she was this for me. Whew. All right, guys. Okay. Because he loved your fathers, he chose their descendants after them and brought you out of Egypt by his presence and great power. Remember what I was saying earlier. It's not just about you. It's about what he's going to do through you and your generations. So don't ever think that he's going to fail you when you're under oath. When you come under attack after you listen to this, because you will. When you come under attack, when you start seeing attacks from your friends, from your families, from your finances, and you say, whoa, God, what is this? This feels like the devil. And he's like, I'm just purging you. Let's go deeper. I'm purging you. Don't ever think he's going to fail. He's too great to fail you. You are but a gnat in the world. But he loves you, so he chose you. Keep walking in him. And be that for your great-grandchildren. Okay, to drive out before you, because he loved you, your fathers, he chose their descendants after them and brought you out of Egypt by his presence and great power to drive out before you nations greater and stronger than you. And listen to me, to drive out before you nations, not just bills, not just house, not just car, nations. Nations. And you telling me God can't get you through bills? Through a world change? He said, I'm going to drive out nations before you. Where's your nations? They're locked up in religion. They're locked up in your pastors, whatever. But you have to unlock your destiny here. Because he's the only one that can guarantee you that nations will fall when you cry out to him when you're under covenant. When you believe in what I'm about to share with you over these next few weeks, understand that he will drive out nations just for you and your generations. He said, I will love you up into 1,000 generations for those that love me. Love on him. Get out of religion and into the Torah and believe in the blood of Yeshua. Come on now. To drive out before you nations greater and stronger than you, and to bring you in and give you the land, their land, woo, as inheritance, not just bills, not just light bills, not just car. What are those things before your maker? When he promised you land as an inheritance, as is now taking place. Today, recognize, verse 39, and keep in mind that the Lord is God in heaven, above on earth and on earth below. There is no other. Keep his statutes. This is the covenant. This is your part. This is not non-negotiable. This is not because of a pastor preacher. Keep his statutes and commands, which I am giving you today, so that you and your children after you may prosper, and so that you may live long in the land the Lord. Listen to me. I got to get this part for you. If you don't hear, you got to hear everything else. But you got to hear this. Let me tell you something. This is your part, okay? This is your part. Keep his statutes. Don't listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Come in with me. Come in with me. Because when God tells you our part, we got to do 110%. Okay? We got to do 110%. There are no excuses here. He's saying, I'm not going to leave you an excuse. So if you don't do it, it's not on me. He's not going to leave you an excuse, so don't leave yourself on the cliff. Listen to me when I say this. Keep his statutes and commands, which I am giving you today, so that you and your children after you may prosper, and so that you may live long in the land the Lord your God is giving you, listen to me, for all time. Close my Bible on that. It's going to be the last, most important few minutes that you spend with me. This is it. He says for all time. This is why you have to read your Bible. This is why you cannot be led astray. It's going to cost you too much. You listening to your pastor, your friend, your community is costing you your life and your generations. Do not let it slip away because of everything else in the world that is going on. Lock in the word, because when he says for all time, he doesn't matter about what time it is. He says if you would do X, Y, and Z, if you would do A through Z, there is nothing that will stand in your way. And I will give you, out of my storehouse, I will give you land. Not bills, not houses, not mortgages, not this. I will give you your inheritance. You don't have your inheritance because you have not done A through Z. It's not because you're not a good person. It's not because he doesn't love you. It's because you haven't sucked in your word. You haven't lived on it. You haven't breathed in it. You get to do that now. You get to do that now. Now that you have this word, the word that I'm about to share with you, lock in. Press subscribe because we're locking in. This year, we're locking in. And I tell you what, God is going to move everything out of your way that is not according to his plan. So do not be surprised when you lose friends. Do not be surprised when you lose family. Do not be surprised when you lose job. Well, do not be surprised when you lose things. Do not be surprised if you lose your house. Do not be surprised if you feel like you can't eat tomorrow. He will supply all your needs. He will do it to build trust with you. So that way when you get in the land, when it's plentiful for you, you and your children will never forget. That's why he's doing it. Let's lock in. Tomorrow we start with the commandments. Be blessed.